So I'm coming to you from my bathroom floor. I'm kind of a hot mess today, but I'm here with my new tips and tricks videos, and tonight I'm going to talk about baking your makeup because this is something I've had a lot of people ask questions about. And then I'm also going to talk about contouring. So I think what I'm going to do to show this to you is just do half of my face. And yeah, so I'll do half of my face and we'll just see the difference between contouring and not contouring. Okay, so as always, I've already washed my face with Illuminate Clean. I have put on my refreshed rose water, just sprayed it on my face, and I have used my Uplift eye serum under my eyes, and I've already put on a little bit of moisturizer. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and put on a little bit of the Glorious. Since I'm only going to do half of my face, I'm just going to use a little bit of primer and put it on half of my face. So I love this stuff. It's so velvety and smooth and amazing. Okay, cool. So to bake, it's pretty simple. I'll be using the Touch Skin Perfecting Concealer in Organza, and then I'm going to be using the Minerals Concealing Corrector. It's upside down. In Fabulous, and this is just because it's a loose powder. They do have a more translucent one that I'm going to be ordering and trying, so we'll see how that makes a difference as well. I'm also going to be using my blending buds for this, and I'll be using the refreshed rose water to help set the makeup. Baking is a way of setting your concealer before you apply your foundation so that when you put your foundation on, your concealer stays where you want it to go. So I'm going to get my concealer brush, if I can find it. I'm doing this with everything without my glasses on. I'm a little bit blind. So I'm going to get just a tiny bit, like that's all I'm going to use for, just put it in a triangle under my eye. I go all the way up to my lash line. And I like to go inside the corner of my eye a little bit just because I do have really dark circles that kind of extend up there. So there I've got my concealer on, and you can already see a really big difference between this eye that has the concealer and this eye that doesn't. You can definitely still see my under eye bag. But then what happens is you put your foundation on and it kind of rubs all that away, right? And so that's what we want to avoid. So what I do is I'm going to take my blending bud and I'm going to just spritz it with rose water so that it's a little damp. And then I have a little bit of this loose powder concealer just in the lid, and I'm going to dab it on my blending bud, and I'm going to just pack it on top of this. I'm not going to blend it. I'm not going to rub it in. It's just going to sit on top of there for a few minutes. So now that it's working, this is what's going to bake it onto my face. So I'm going to let that sit for like 10 minutes. So while that is sitting, I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my eye makeup on this side. It's set on there. We're just going to take and we're going to brush off all of the excess powder that's been sitting there, and you can see my concealer's not going anywhere. It's there. So now I'm going to put on the BB cream. I'm wearing the BB Flawless in Bisque. And so I like to use my blending bud for this. So what I do is, yikes, sorry guys. I'm just going to put a little bit on my hand. I don't need much, especially since I'm only doing half of my face. That's probably more than enough. And I'm going to get this a little bit wet with the rose water again. There's dog hairs all over my stuff. Okay. And then how you make your makeup. Super easy, super, you know, if you've got other spots on your face that you want to do concealer, you could do the same thing. Just put the concealer on, put the powder on with some setting spray, which I use the rose water as my setting spray. And then you can just let it sit for 10 minutes and do the rest of your eyes or whatever while you're waiting for that. So now we'll talk about contouring. Contouring is as simple as shading. You're creating shadows and highlights on your face to give yourself a certain shape or highlight or thin out your face. I personally do mine to thin out my face. You can contour with liquid. I prefer not to. I prefer to contour with powder. So I use the Beachfront bronzer, and this is in Hermosa. I'm using the blusher brush for this because it has a nice angle to it, and that's what you want for contouring. Oh my gosh, sorry. Knock my computer off, guys. So I'm just going to take a little bit on my brush and blow it off a little bit, and then I take my brush, where are you? And I squeeze it so that it's more narrow. And then I just go from about, if you suck in your cheeks, like you're going to make a kissy face, I go from about there back up to about like the middle of my ear. So I'm just going to go. And if you'll see, that creates like a little shadow on my face that's going to enhance my cheekbones and actually make my face look a little bit thinner. So then what you want to do is kind of take it and keep going around. Go up on your forehead a little bit, go under your jawline, which will bring out your jawline a little bit. You can definitely play around with it. Different people might want their contouring to look a little bit different in different places on their face. It really depends on how your face is shaped, what kind of look you're going for. So that's before I've blended it all, but you can already see that this side of my face actually does already look thinner than this side. I'm using the pressed blusher in Sweet. And again, I just put a little bit on, blow off the excess, and I'm just going to put on a little bit on the apple of my cheeks and back. And then what I like to do, because right now I've still got some pretty dramatic lines on my face, obviously you don't want to go out in public looking super like you have just lines drawn on your face. So you can go back in with a little bit of powder. You can use the pressed powder or you can use the loose powder to do this. I am just going to use the little bit that's still on my brush. I'm just going to go over my face and kind of blend it out a little bit. And then there's that. So there's half my face done with concealer and half of my face done with contouring. Should I do half of my lips too? I haven't worn Swanky yet. Should I wear Swanky? Okay. So I'm going to put on, I've got this liner in Pompous. I really like this one. And then I'm just going to go over with lipstick. And this is with Swanky. That looks really crazy. There I am, guys. Half my face. No makeup. Makeup! So my bags are like virtually gone under my eyes, which is a miracle because I have super bad under eye bags. Uh, my face is contoured and thinned out a little bit. My eyelashes are so much better on one side. And my lips have some nice color on them. So there you go. Enjoy.